Ani Bojo Kwekwe. Greetings, it's Catherine from Moonstarlodge in tiny Ontario. And I have for you the weekly reading for June 12th to the 18th of 2023. And if you are new to this channel, welcome. And if you are returning, welcome back. This is an interesting week for me. There's a new moon right on the very last day, on the 18th. And it's the new moon, the 7th moon of the year, and it's loves all things. And it comes in at, let me see, 12:37 a.m. So just after midnight on the 18th. So we have a full day in this energy. We will have had the day before, the 17th, we will be in this new moon energy. And I would like to read to you Loves All Things. She is the mother of unconditional love and all acts of pleasure, the keeper of sexual wisdom and self-respect, the sensual lover, the mother, nurturer, the warmth of the feminine, the guardian of the needs of the family. She teaches us how to use respect, trust, and intimacy in all relationships, how to love all aspects of our lives, lessons, sexuality, and physical beings, how to be a loving woman, nurturing mother, sensual lover, and trusted friend, how to forgive ourselves and others, developing acceptance and shunning criticalness. She teaches us how to love the truth. When I got up today, knowing that we would be doing the readings, I was overwhelmed with an emotional sense and awareness of my grandmothers. One was Rose, the other one was Viola, and as in both their names reflected flowers, I felt a sense of this flowering time of year and just how much I love roses, as much for their scent and their beauty, but the reminder that when my father was in a good way, he planted at one point 67 different rose bushes. It's always been one of the most intimate symbols for me of love and respect and deep connection. So when they show up at my door, whether from a friend or whomever, I feel a sense that I need to deeply connect to a part of me that I often shut off. So with both grandmothers looming, and I knew exactly, there was no question what cards I was going to use this week. And then I remembered we had a new moon, and it's loves all things. So that's what grandmothers hopefully do for us. They love us unconditionally with a freedom that our parents don't necessarily have the time or the energy to do because they're into the practical things, but grandmothers have a special energy. So the decks I'm using this week are the Muse Tarot by Chris Ann, and it's just chakra block full of roses on every card. Sometimes they're a little harder to see. The Unshakable Inner Peace Oracle cards, again, chakra block full of roses. The Oracle of the Roses by Sherilyn Darcy. The Marigold Tarot, which the cards have roses, but I always use those for the ancestors. If you've been around for a while, you know that. Stacy DeMarco's Queen of the Moon, and I like to have some moon card giving us some kind of direction about energies that we should bring in. the Rosebud Tarot, which is the principal tarot I'm using this week, and I will switch it up for Chris Ann's next for the midweek. The Voice of the Soul's Oracle, which I'm just really digging. And finally, Rebecca Campbell's The Rose Oracle. So you're getting the theme, I hope. Almost all roses, or roses in the cards. So let's go to the reading, Brian. So here is the Rosebud Tarot. It's a collage deck, and there are roses somewhere in just about every card. And then we have the other decks here as clarifiers. So we start here with a Major Arcana card. We have another one here and another one here. So there are three majors. There's a court. We have a number of cards that are number 1 or ace cards. So that's very telling. So alchemy in a regular tarot deck is temperance. And we see a woman mixing with her dishes there. She's got a rose, she's got her familiar, her cat. And temperance is about creating something from just regular everyday things that moves beyond this dimension. When we alchemize something, we make it much better, like the ancient alchemists used to blend base metals and expect to get gold. The clarifier here is we are nature, becoming grounded, the embodiment, living in connection. So in order for the alchemy that we are creating, and this is also artistic, it's a very artistic card from the past, and it's bringing things into a balanced shifting. It's moving into the mystery, it's going into other dimensions. And the moon is in the background of this card too, so that's very interesting. But we are going to create a monster like a Dr. Frankenstein unless we stay grounded. So this is a thoughtful process, and this is a very telling card as the significator. It's followed by the Seven of Fire or the Seven of Wands. This person is standing tall, their horse is in the background. There's a number of wands pointing at them, but they've got the higher ground, and they are surrounded by sacred energy. We need to stand our ground about what it is that we are alchemizing. We don't need to bow down or whatever. This Seven of Fire is an experience card. We know what we're doing, and we're going to go forth despite perhaps some conflict from others. It's clarified by the sensualist. It's the La France rose. It's a modern garden rose, and it's about, in this embodiment that we're making, we need to be really aware and bringing to us in a very physical, sensual aspect what it is that we are doing. It's followed by the Five of Water, which in a traditional deck signifies grief, but all fives are change. And sometimes grief is about the letting go of a life we had. If a partner dies, life changes for us. We have to move on. We have to be prepared. But it's about, as we are alchemizing and changing things up, there may be things we do have to let go. And that's okay. You just work through it. You never ever suppress the emotions. It's clarified, this is a good one then. It's clarified, you heal by releasing, not suppressing. What emotions do you need to feel? So in this case, it's talking about the grief of change. So don't suppress that during the week. Take the time to deal with it so it doesn't muddy or somehow ruin what we're alchemizing. It's saying, because of change, right immediately following, is the Youth card, which in this deck is the Fool. So it's a new beginning. There's the little dog, there's a suitcase, there's the roses, the backpack, all of that. And the Fool is about a new karmic journey, something that we're on that's going to have a big impact on our lives. It's clarified by the Two of Inspiration, which in this deck is the Two of Wands. Again, there's a lot of fire energy in this reading, so that's all wands, that's passion and spirit. So we're clarifying our new journey, so that's a very good thing. The Ace of Air is a new intellectual pursuit that's coming, it's incubating, and it's clarified by the Mirror effect, and this is a soul card. And this card is saying if we won't have the clarity and the new intellectual inspiration that's coming with this journey if we fall or are unaware of what the mirror effect means. What we criticize in others and situations is actually a reflection of what we don't like in ourselves. So that's the old Freudian and Jungian projection. What we project onto others is really an aspect of ourselves. So if things like this come up, we need to stop and reflect. Again, this is this embodiment here of being grounded and peaceful and just being aware, like the observers. If a criticism that seems external comes up, where does it lie within ourselves? Because we don't want that kind of thing again to muddy this new and beautiful emerging intellectual or mental paradigm. So here's the emergence card. The emergence card in a regular deck is Judgment, and this is about release and new beginnings and joyful embracing of all we've learned to burn through to nearly the end of the major arcana. This is the beginning. This is nearly the end. It's clarified by the Nine of Rings, which in this is my ancestor card. And in this particular deck, rings are the earth element. They're like pentacles or coins. So it says we have achieved the earthly material gains that we need to make this new journey fruitful. It's interesting here that this clarifies this card. I like that that's coming together this way. The generosity of fire is the same as the Queen of Fire or the Queen of Wands. And she's, interestingly to me, she's holding her head. She's got her familiar. There are people around her. But the queens are about the mature internalizing of the fire principle, the passion, the spirit, the connection with source, caring for self and caring for others. Here's that familiar, still here, this wee kitty. It's clarified by the dark moon, the void. It's the first card in this deck. So we have the youth, we have the ace, and now we have the void. And it certainly is a dark moon and the void. This is exactly what's happening on the 18th. It's the new moon of Loves All Things. My one grandmother referred to her as she who finds love in all things, which implies that we find love even in things which are a little bit darker, like the projections and the analysis that may be hard, or the sense of loss and grief as we experience change. When we find the love in it and have compassion for it, we don't suffer anywhere nearly as much. So you can flip the camera, Brian. So I hope this resonates with you. It certainly does me at a very personal level, and I can see in the volatility of life on this planet right now how coming to a place of of seeing beauty instead of turmoil, and feeling that the emotional barriers coming down. It's a real act of faith and energy for me to drop my shields. And that's a sign of healing. So this is a week of healing, but clearly incredible progress on our journeys collectively and individually. So I'd like to thank you for being present with me and being aware of this beautiful new moon coming of Love's All Things. Stay tuned for the Wednesday reading. It comes out on Tuesday evening, so you can see what's coming up and you can think about it. And I'll be using the same decks. So have a great week and be blessed. Give us a thumbs up. Subscribe if you want to get notifications. And send me a coffee. Aho.